Pretty much. Then the economist had an idea that, okay, he knows why they're asking that question. So he told them, can you lock all the doors? Can you shut all the windows? Can you switch the light off? Can you all come together? Come closer to me. And he said to the guy asking the panel, the leader of the panel group, he said, just tell me what you want to hear and I'll tell you. See, because if it is only 4 you need, otherwise all these professionals have come and gone. So you want something else. Just tell me what you need. Then I will tell you the answer. See, so business is very, very practical and very diverse. So I'm here to speak to you on business career, very short. I have only 8 slides. Business, we don't talk too much. I have only 8 slides. I work with the University of Durham, like Edda was saying, top 5 university in the UK. And it's very soon I will introduce a few things to you. For you to get there, it's possible, but it's extremely tough to get in. So I want to speak to you a little bit about career development in business. Basically, if you want to move into the business line, there are 5 broad areas in which you can go. So if you're doing your A-levels or you're thinking of doing or branching into business, there are 5 main areas. And that is really aligned to what God has given you, your God-given talent. You don't have to, you can do business with every blessing or every talent God has given you. So the first 2 is what I call marketing and management. If you're the person that you like reading, the person that you can read a novel within seconds, then in that case, it's been much, much, much better for you to get into management and marketing. I'm not saying it is by any chance the least in the ladder, but it's something that you excel. You have to explore your God-given talent before you get into business. It's not everybody who goes to business to make money. Don't get that misconception wrong. Okay? So get what you can do, and then you enter into it. So these areas, if you are shy of mathematics, then you can get into these areas. Marketing or management. They do more of those consultancy work. Then we have accounting, which is in between. Accounting, if you like to play with figures, I'm sure, what's the Deacon accountant is here, so maybe please correct me if I go wrong. But they deal with a lot of figures. So we're talking of trillions. I asked the accountant, so after trillions, where do we go? He says quadrillion. After quadrillion, where do we go?
Pentrillion.
Yet to come, yeah.
Pentrillion.
So if you are not very, very comfortable with figures, then please, can I ask you not to go there? Because otherwise, you cannot communicate. It's not by you knowing, but you able to communicate to board of directors, you'll be able to communicate to so many things. Okay, and that's the difficulty. So accounting has a bit of math and a bit of reading. Okay, so you'll be applying math, you'll be applying a bit of reading as well. But if you are very, very flexible with mathematics, then the next 2 areas are yours. Okay, finance and economics. The reason being that these 2 are forward-looking disciplines. So things that have not happened, but you are projecting it. So it calls for a lot of mathematics, a lot of statistics, a lot of probabilities analysis. So if you are very shy of math, then please, you can move towards this side. Okay? If you are in between and you love figures, then you can play around this. But again, if you have reading skills and you can do a lot of reading, writing very quick, they give you pen, you can write 10 pages of sheet quickly, then please, yours is this area. Okay? So just know that. Our brother, our doctor talked about career and profession. I didn't know in time, I was going to ask you the difference between career and a profession. They are not the same. A profession is one you have been trained for. So somebody can be economist or engineer, but your career is something that you do daily that excites you. So you can be trained as an economist, but you don't do anything with economics. That is why there's a saying that you have to look for God-given talent before you get into that profession. Otherwise, you spend all your year's time doing it, and eventually, you don't get profit in it. Okay, so be careful what you do. In the path of business, we have two, in fact, we have three main parts. We have the academic, we have the professional, and we have both. Okay? So if you are very, very good and analytical, you want to spend some time in school, none of them is better than the other, except that if you have both, you are better off. Then you'll be running like this man. So you'll be chasing, money will be chasing you. You don't chase money. Okay? So, but let me just open academic, each of them to you. In terms of academics, accounting, marketing, management, economics, and finance. Nowadays, it is not career-wise, it is not advantageous for you to go and say, I do marketing, I do economics. I think Ada was talking about cross-disciplinary knowledge. So usually, if you're applying for any degree in business, apply for a degree that can give you both. Otherwise, you're not marketable. I have to be very honest with you. Okay? That had made Germany the best in Europe. And no country can get closer to Germany. You do medicine, but you do accountancy. So if you finish, there's no job, there's always something there for you. And that's why Germany is always on top of the world. I mean, in terms of Europe. They will always recover first in the pool, UK, and the rest alone. It's the kind of education structure they have. So don't go in and say, I'm doing BSc accounting. It's not enough. It's not enough. I have a marketing degree. Yeah, I know, but it's not enough. It won't take you far. But if you can crisscross, it will always help you. In the sense that if you are thinking of promotion, one day you want to be a leader, you need all these skills to be able to take a decision. In the boardroom, there's nothing like, call me the economist to bring this analysis. As a managing director or as a chief executive officer, your brain must be working in all these areas. You must know economics, you must know finance, you must know accounting, you must know a bit of marketing, you must know a bit of management. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. Okay? Entry levels. There are A levels. But in the business, we also recognize that somebody doesn't need to have necessarily academic qualification. You may be practicing, but then because of your practice, they can accept you through another route. So please don't think that if you don't have A levels, you are doomed forever. No. In this country, we thank God that we are here. There are other routes and alternatives that we can get there. If you don't know, please seek help. There are opening days of most universities. Take chance for you to go and listen to. Yeah, there are levels of degree. We have first degree, which you all know. Don't worry about these names, whether it BA, BSc, forget about that. The most important is you have a degree. Okay? When you get to master's, sometimes it's more important because it leads to your PhD before you want to go there. But in business, we don't need master's or PhD to make money. Just the first degree is enough. Unless you want to get into strategic thinking, analytical thinking, then first degree is not enough. Okay? All these areas have profession. It's only economics that do not have a profession. In other words, they don't have. You cannot go through a professional body. It's very soon I'll explain to you. You have to go through academic role. So you have to go to first degree, second degree. You don't finish first degree with economics and say you're an economist. It's never happened. Okay? Right. Because of time, I have to skip through this quickly. If you want to go to the professional route, maybe you think that it's very difficult for you to go to school because of other things. Maybe I will encourage you if you can get to school, do that. Otherwise, there are options. A lot of options open for you. If you want to go into accounting, all these things are possible. And there are branches. For example, this is the entry level. If you don't have A level, or you find it still difficult, there are entry level which you can go through to AAT. Please go to the internet and read. The slides, I will need the slides with your leadership, so they will be able to give it to you. But this is the top, as far as this is concerned. These two are the tops. If you're interested in financial accounting, you go to ACCA. If you're interested in management accounting and stuff like that, you go to CIMA. If you're interested in working in public organization with the government as accountant, then you go through public certified accountant. These are all certifications. Certification simply means that you will retire with the position forever. Okay? Even if you are sick, you are in bed, you are still a chartered accountant. Finance. If you are very, very mathematical and statistical, you have that knowledge and acumen, then you can get into that. And the cream of them all is that, I must say quickly, that this qualification supersedes all qualifications in business. It's called Chartered Financial Analyst. Extremely expensive. You have only 3 levels. 1 level alone can qualify you to be a manager somewhere. It's very, very expensive. And it is It is only organized in the United States. So if you are here, you want to take it, then you probably have to take an online examination and all things. Okay. Otherwise, there are other suboptimal. If you want to go to insurance, there's a chartered insurance as well. If you want to go into banking, which I will not encourage you so much. If you want to go to treasury, you want to work with the central bank, there are other ways you can go into it as well. If you want to move to this direction, marketing and management, of course, Chartered Institute of Marketing, Chartered Managerial Institute of Insurance, there are so many of them. Those of you who want to go into work with international organizations like Google, like Toyota, you want to deal in supply chains, everything. These are certified of purchasing and supply. Most universities do not do, but if you can get a degree, it qualifies you a lot. Then, what about if you want to do both? This is where you have to catch the revelation quickly. If you're in the UK and you want to do accountancy, I want to encourage you strongly that unlike developing countries, we don't have that option here. Some universities, some companies have come together and they have devised a route that, there are different levels. You first of all have to apply for a degree in university. When you finish, you have to now think of qualifying chartering, have a chartered accountancy or chartered financial, whatever. Then you have to think of how to enter the market. But they've combined these three components and they have launched a degree. And there are only 3 universities in the UK that offer this degree. There's one in the north by Durham University, one in the middle by Birmingham University, and one in the south by Exeter University. So these are the 3. If you're thinking of going to academic, professional, and your job is guaranteed here. The reason being that from your first year, you'll be taking internship with KPMG. They are the top dog as far as employment is concerned. Okay? And you'll be working with them whilst you're on holiday. So by the time you finish everything, you have a job, you have a degree, you have a chartered accountancy degree at the same time, professional at the same time, which is much, much easier. But what I can tell you is, to enter is very, very difficult. It's not impossible. I spoke with somebody who eventually is now in the course. And your dream is already set if you want it. So you can see me, I will leave some of the materials around here, materials in which you can qualify. You can see me when I speak to you. Can I just talk to you a little bit? To me, it's interesting. Can I just talk to you a little bit? Because I'm going to worry as well. A little bit about my career, and then we move on. What really excites me is for you to talk in terms of evidence. If you speak, there are no evidence, I struggle with that. Okay, so if you talk and tell me, you can do it this way, I'm not particularly interested in that. I want to tell me, based on this, I'm somebody who like evidence, okay? Not so much into finance, but more into numerical, and I like analytical. If you tell me I'm going to London, then you leave me a lot of problem. Because I'm going to think, how are you going to go to London? That sort of thing. If you say, I'm leaving Coventry to London, which I'm not supposed to take about 45 minutes, is that right? And you get to London in 2 hours, then you'll be thinking, what are the routes the guy took? So I have that kind of analytical mind in my own way, but I didn't know where I need to go. Okay? So what I probably wanted to do was that, even though I was analytical, but I was speaking math from the start. Because maybe if you came from where I come from, Ghana, if you're happy to get a math teacher who will teach you very well, then you like the discipline. But when somebody tells you this is the formula, learn it. Then you realize that you don't know where you're going. Because you meet the same thing and it's not the same thing you were taught in class and you are shouting. You don't know what to do. So I never liked mathematics at all. But then, my interest was to be a pilot. Seriously. Because, and I've still not left it out actually. Because I'm still looking to pursue a private degree in piloting. But at the end of the day, I spoke with them. I went to uni. So I didn't do business at all, and I went to uni. And this is where it's important, guys. I spoke to a mentor. My mentor at that time was the leader of Full Gospel Movement. And he was the vice chancellor of the university. So I had a chat with him, and he said, based on all the things I discussed with him, he says, your area could be finance. And I said, I have a problem with math. And he said, hey, you need math, you need economics, otherwise you can't do finance. Because it's a forward-looking subject. So what do? Now I realized that, by and large, after I prayed and I've listened to advice, I realized that was interesting to me. But I was weak in math. I was weak in statistics. What do? You may be sitting here, guys, you may find yourself the same way. But I have to put in determination. I have to put in serious determination. So I have to repeat university for 1 year. But because I was determined to do it. Okay, I didn't care. So my mates were ahead of me one